Who will be the coach of every AFL club at the end of the 2024 season? I'm going to be projecting far into the future and having a guess at who your coach at your club will be. In alphabetical order, starting off with Adelaide, Matty Nix is still going to be coach. This is on the presumption that Adelaide continue to progress. If they do stagnate or even decline in 2024, that may be reason to get rid of Nix. But I think with the list, with his coaching that he's shown, his development of the squad, of the list, I have high hopes for Nix, and I think he's going to stay. Brisbane, I was really tossing and turning on this. I don't think they're going to get close to the flag next year in 2024. And for that, I did ponder the idea of, well, there is a chance they do get rid of Fagan, leave on mutual terms to sort of try get another coach to push for that last tilt of the flag. But I have still gone with Chris Fagan. I think, look, Brisbane owe him a lot. There's no way, unless Fagan says he's out, there's no way Brisbane can just get rid of him like that. For Carlton, I would have loved to have said somebody else other than Michael Voss, but unfortunately, it's still going to be Michael Voss. A pretty simple start to the video. Carlton, they have shown now, and Voss has shown now that they are worthy. They can win the flag, okay? And for that, they need stability. They have stability. Voss is staying. Same for Collingwood. Look, these early clubs are pretty simple, and they're going to keep getting simple. Collingwood, Fly McRae will definitely be the coach unless something tumultuous happens. Essendon's a really interesting one because, look, for any other coach, I feel like if they didn't make finals next year, a lot of pressure will be placed on them. But with Brad Scott, you've got a proven coach who I think is one of the best coaches in the comp. I've said it before, I love Brad Scott as a coach. I think tactically he's brilliant, man manager is brilliant, and what he's going to bring to Essendon, I believe, is stability, and that is an important feature for a club who has failed for over 7,000 days where they haven't won a final. At the time of recording, it's probably going to be 8,000. I still think he'll be there. I don't think Essendon will challenge next year for the finals, unfortunately, or at least I don't think they'll make them, but he'll still be there at the end of the year. Going with Brad Scott. For Fremantle, I've gone with McQualter as their coach at the end of the 2024 season. No way Justin Longmuir survives unless a miracle happens and Fremantle make the 8. They have the list and they have the squad to make finals, so I think it's time to get rid of him. Look, you tried it. Good effort. I was considering Don Pike for this role, but I think what Fremantle might want is just a young coach who can sort of nurture and guide young players. Look, they don't have a stable list there. There are people leaving. Sean Darcy's probably going to leave. Who knows what Sarong and Brayshaw are going to do. So I feel like they're going to go for someone like McQualter, young, and McQualter did well at Richmond given the circumstances. For Geelong, I was heavily debating this, really heavily debating this. I have gone with Chris Scott, but this is a big watch, sort of like what Damien Hardwick did at the Tigers. I do see a world where Chris Scott, look, Geelong aren't in the finals. They're out after, round 16. There's pretty much no chance they make the finals. And I just do see a world where Chris Scott basically says, look, I've done my time here. I'm burnt out, like Damien Hardwick said. I'm burnt out. I've done what I can with the squad. I'm going to give it to someone else, take a little bit of a break, and then come back and coach a different team. I do see that, but chances are, if I'm being honest with myself, that probably won't happen. Chances are Geelong make the finals, I think, are slim. So in that respect, I think there is pressure on Chris Scott, but he'll still be coach of them. GWS, Kingsley will still be coach. Adam Kingsley, proven to make prelims. Game style is brilliant. Obviously a brilliant coach in his first full year of footy in 2023, nearly making a grand final, 1 point away. Fuck, he's a good coach. Is he as good as Gold Coast coach at the end of 2024? Is going to be Damien Hardwick. This is a simple one. Damien Hardwick, unless he burns out and ditches Gold Coast for Richmond again, he's going to be staying. Pains me to say that because that man left my club, left the Tigers, saying, oh, I'm burnt out, I can't do this anymore. And then a couple months later, he's fucking fancying Gold Coast and he coaches them. Bit of a snaky move, but look, Richmond fans can't get annoyed at Damien Hardwick. He brought the 3 flags and actual relevancy to our club, but he will 100% be coaching Gold Coast. In fact, he's probably up there with top 3 guarantees. Also a guarantee for me is Hawthorn. I do think Sam Mitchell is guaranteed to be coaching them. I think Hawthorn are a shout to make top 8 in 2024. Perhaps the young list will mean they just miss out on that because they don't have the experience in the big games to get over the line in those really tight games as well, but I do think he's going to keep improving like he has shown for that list. Trade window, there were some good signings there, looking good. I would be happy if I was a Hawthorn fan. The succession plan did look kind of a bit worrisome at the start. You're replacing arguably the greatest coach for the last 30 years, Alistair Clarkson, with this unproven Mitchell, but he's starting to show some features of coaching which are very promising, and I wouldn't surprise me if in 3 years we're talking about Mitchell as a flag winner. Now for my controversial one, for the Melbourne Football Club. Now I am recording as of 17th of November, so by the time this comes out, Melbourne could already have a different coach as Simon Goodwin. I've gone with Nathan Buckley as the coach at the end of 2024 for the Melbourne Football Club. Now Collingwood fans will know Nathan Buckley is a brilliant brilliant coach. His IQ about the game, he knows so much about football, and he translates that pretty well to coaching. Made a grand final for Collingwood and a prelim as well. Showed that he could build a really good list, and to be completely honest, he is worthy, and his time at Collingwood was worthy of a flag. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I rate Buckley as a great coach. My presumption is that if Buckley was the coach, he would want to stay in Melbourne, as in the city of Melbourne, and, well, he wouldn't go to a club like Fremantle or anything else. So I feel like Melbourne suits Buckley pretty well. A little bit of a rivalry there between Melbourne and Collingwood, so is that allowed to happen? I think it will happen, and I think a good suitor for Melbourne is Nathan Buckley. For the North Melbourne Football Club, a relative guarantee. The only slight, I guess, not problem, but the little bit of doubt behind this is just the fact that last season, Alistair Clarkson did have those mental health issues, which put him out of the game for the majority of the year. So in that respect, I'm not as, well, not positive, but I'm not as confident to say he is 100% conclusively going to be coaching at the end of 2024 for the North Melbourne Football Club, but the chances are he will, and North Melbourne aren't going to get rid of him. So let's be real, Clarko's going to be coaching for North at the end of 2024. For Port Adelaide, the coach of the Port Adelaide Football Club at the end of 2024 is going to be Leon Cameron. That's right, I've gone with a bold claim here. I think Ken Hinkley, you've had your 10 years there. Head out the door, you've done well, you've made 3 prelims, I believe. Yep, 3 prelims since when's he been at the club, 2012, 13 or something. You've done well, but with the list Ken Hinkley has, he should be arguably doing better. He had ample opportunities with 2 home finals in the prelims to make a grand final, but Richmond and the Dogs trumped Port Adelaide at home. So the 2 massive opportunities missed. Does he have that cutting edge to make the final, or to win a grand final? Does he have the cutting edge to produce a game style which works very well in finals? I'm not so sure. Leon Cameron, I am sure about. The 1 grand final he made, he got absolutely demolished by these boys in 2019. But from 2016 to 2019, that's a 4-year period where Giants were probably consistently the best team for those 4 years. And I think he suits Port Adelaide very, very well. For Richmond, I've gone with Adam Uze still. Look, there's no point Richmond replaces their coach. You've gone with the first-year coach. Obviously, the list is going to be slightly rebuilding, so you're going to get a new coach in, works well together. He'll struggle a lot. I'm not expecting him to do what Kingsley did or what McRae did, because the list isn't there. He'll struggle, but he'll still be the coach at the end of the 2024 season for my boys, the Richmond Tigers. For St Kilda, I was debating this a lot, like a lot. I've got 2 names here. One of them is Ross Lyon, and the other one is Stewie Dew. Now, I'm not sure who to go for. Just to not sit on the fence, I am going to go with Ross Lyon. Ross Lyon just has the tendency to fall out with plays and for shit to hit the fan. He has a tendency to bail on clubs, like he did with St Kilda in his first stint there as coach. I'm not as bullish about him as a lot of people are. I think he did very well in the 2023 season to finish 6th at the end of the home away season, but it was almost as if everybody knew they wouldn't do anything in the finals because the game style they had and the performances they were producing weren't worthy of an 8th place or top 8 finish. I still think he'll be there though, on the basis that he has earned some credit points in the bank because of that really good season he had, given the injuries, particularly in the forward line. But I would see a world where St Kilda just completely capitulate and they're looking for a new coach, and I rate Stewie Dew highly. However, to sit off the fence, we're going with Ross Lyon at the end of the 2024 season for St Kilda. For Sydney, I've still gone with John Longmire. He's been there for a long time. There is a chance that, like I was saying with Chris Scott for Geelong, he may burn out because he's been coaching for so long for that one club, but such a good coach. A young list, a promising list. I think it's exciting. He'll stay there. For the Western Bulldogs, I've still gone with Luke Beveridge. I hate to say it, he is not a good coach in my eyes. Ironic because he has made a grand final and also won a grand final, so that's pretty good for him. But I just think he shows year after year that tactically he's not as good as other coaches. Coaches can catch him out with tactics that he just can't defend against, and when the whips are cracking, they fail. They've shown it before, against West Coast at the latter end of the season that just finished in 2023. They lose at home against West Coast, one of the worst teams ever. He's capable of producing those capitulations where the team just stinks. And with the list they have, the Dogs should be doing much better. But I think purely because he made a grand final only a couple years ago, he still does have credit in the bank to stay there. But if I'm the Dogs, I'm trying to get him out. Get another good coach in there. I reckon they'll do better. And lastly, the West Coast Eagles. In 2024, I have got 2 names here to coach the West Coast Eagles, and it is not Adam Simpson. Yes, for me, Simo, he's going to go out. I am going to stick with Stewie Dew as the coach. Stewie Stewie Dew has coached outside of Melbourne before, so I don't think it's an issue for him to go coach outside of Melbourne in Perth. I've gone with Stewie Dew purely because he was great with the young list for Gold Coast. Didn't deserve the sack, but let's be real. If you had to choose between Dimmer or Stewie Dew, you would choose Dimmer. But I love Stewie Dew. I wanted Stewie Dew at my club. I've been record saying this ever since Dimmer left. I wanted Stewie Dew at my club. I think it's a phenomenal coach. So much promise. You hear all the stories about Gold Coast players only signing on because they were promised that Stewie Dew would stay at the club for a long period of time. I think he's a great man manager, so he's really good with those young players, nurturing them, building them into men, but also great AFL players. And for that, I've chosen him for West Coast. West Coast have a young list, rebuilding team. The other coach that I was contemplating was Paul Roos. A very big throwback there, but look, Paul Roos, he did save Melbourne. Like, he went to Melbourne and helped them through the absolute shitter. And West Coast are in a similar period where they're looking like they're going to have quite a few years of irrelevancy and wooden spoons. So if Paul Roos wants to come out of retirement, yes, he's old, and I doubt he wants to coach again. It's been quite a while since. That is a shout. I just think Adam Simpson is going to want to depart. It's a stressful job for him. He's coached so well for so many years, been phenomenal for the West Coast Eagles, winning them the flag as an interstate club as well, which is always a better flag to win, in my opinion, purely because you play at the MCG. But I think he's very much worthy of a coaching opportunity elsewhere. I just feel like the chances are him and West Coast are going to mutually agree to depart. Adam Simpson can have a break because he's clearly stressed out. He really showed those signs of stress and just general sort of rundown from coaching during the 2023 season, and that's why I projected him not to be coaching. Now any club will pick him up, phenomenal coach, but I think West Coast are going to end up with probably Stewie Dew at the end of the 2024 season. So that is it. Let me know if you agree with your team, who's going to be their coach of the 2024 season. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Tell me who the coach will be. Make sure you follow the TikTok FTFooty, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you very much for watching.